and the priority that you find there. However, considering the fact that Umti barely pays any attention whatsoever to his top lane, you can also say, that's easy, we just camp Hoya and take him down repeatedly, which definitely could happen. Deft and Vista, you know, if you hit a hook, it's possible, but I think that Brom does a great job, especially with Exhaust, of mitigating any plays that Willa might want to make. So it's probably going to be either farming, grouping up with the rest of the team, or trying to set up for Chovy. Whereas Umti, he can basically go to any lane and be fine. Setup is amazing here.
Absolutely everywhere, and I expect that to absolutely happen. Of course, Umti was playing Lilia before it was cool. Yep, now being buffed a little bit, feels a whole lot better, throwing bowling balls around the area. As Deft is going to have his ward cleared. Feels a little bit upset about that. In fact, it's Vista's ward, so I guess Deft still has his. And that's okay. Vista goes back, grabs himself his sweeper, and they'll be about their businesses. This is, of course, Deft's Jinxed. He has an extraordinary win rate on this champion, just in general. And we'll see whether that is going to be enough to get them across the line. He hasn't really played it all that much this season, but is obviously an old favorite of his. And just these long-range hyper-carry style champions, very, very good in the hands of a player like Deft.
You and Deft's Jinx also go way back.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you do. First pick in summer, though. We did see that in spring a couple of times. Was very efficient back then, but that was a different Hanwga Life that looked, I think, a lot stronger, a lot more versatile. And whereas the rest of the teams in the LCK, I think we can collectively give really developed. Yeah. Hanwga Life haven't really caught the boat on that one yet. So hopefully this is, for them at least, this is a match where they can actually turn it around. Umti also go in, as per usual, for the futures market, meaning that any potential power spike can be hit early, which is quite nice. And yeah.
This is in the LCK, of course.
Oh, it's way more.
Yeah. It is much higher than this, as his overall win rate on Jinx is something absurd, going back to about when Jinx was brought into League of Legends, which was approximately 2015, I'm pretty sure.
I think it might even be earlier. I think you're talking Season 3, which would be around 2015, I guess. Because that was also when Vi came out. They were fairly close to one another, if I remember correctly.
Jinx was after Vi.
Was it after Vi?
By a little bit, yep.
There you go.
And also, because I think I was commentating Deft at the time that Jinx came out, and I started casting the LPL in 2015. So I think it would have to have been around then.
Beautiful throwback.
Yep.
Better times for Deft, unfortunately.
Yeah, Chovy gonna find Lava here, and Lava having an okay time here as Vista gets his hook onto Delight. And Jinx with her range advantage should be able to have control of this lane in the early stages. Vista should be able to just fish for hooks where he would like, and as you can see, weaving in these rockets to make Henna's life as frustrating as possible.
Make him as miserable as you can. Of course, the Aphelios in this matchup, I think, generally unfavored as Chovy.
Yep, gonna get stunned up. Bowling Ball, I believe, hit a minion, but still going to be able to get that passive as Will is going to come in. Chovy looking to turn it as Watch Out Eep to get Umti away from the Viego. And Willa now gets himself into the brush. Okay, not sure about that cue. That's fine.
I think it's good not to risk it, considering that Chovy can't do anything. He's there in body, but not in spirit, because he has no mana at all. So that might look a little bit suspect, but it is a Renekton. If there is a champion that you don't want to overextend into.
Also didn't have
It is the Crocodile.
Did still have Flash.
Yeah.
Obviously would have been able to get out of the way of that one.
The nice thing that this does do, though, is you don't actually die. You know, you're able to mitigate that pressure that comes through from Umti. And this is a rough matchup for the Silas. You're really looking to just get through your lane, and then, as you can see, that like if you do get help and you can 100 to 0 someone in your rotation, you're going to be very, very happy. But Renekton is one of the key kind of picks that just does so well in bullying anything that's melee. However, setup with a Silas is really good, and Willer is there.
Yeah, once again looking for his opportunity. Lava playing really far back, but is going to move up to the wave now. Chovy gets the flash basically just by himself as Willa walks on into the lane, and they're going to help shove it out.
Nicely done. Exactly what you're looking for, and means that any future setup is there. And I'm loving the attention that Willer is paying towards this mid lane, because as pointed out, This is exactly what you want to do. Your other lanes, it's possible, but you probably only blow Summoner, and Braum is so good at kind of holding back any aggression. Jinx's early damage is nothing to write home about. And top is on, so he's Oya's fine. He has creeps. He's farming, you know.
Yep.
He's goading.
No, Morgan is going to have a great time up there towards the top side, and as you can see, it's already beginning. Has a slight CS advantage. Able to move into the enemy jungle even, get some extra information. And Hoya did walk to lane, so that's why he falls behind a little bit. As Umpty, he's going to have to flash out of the way of Morgan. As now Lava's in a lot of trouble. Remember, doesn't have his flash, and the chains come in. Chovy realizes he's not going to be able to finish this one off. Does get the cannon creep. But remember, no flash for Lava. This is possibly dangerous, and Chovy is still putting on the pressure.
Does have the dominance available though, so Chovy needs to be very respectful because it is easy to get baited in and then get surprised. Morgan, level 6.
Yeah. There's that flash available, but Willer is here. He was looking for a potential bait as, the bowling ball only just goes wide from Umpty, and that is going to give Morgan his life back. Meanwhile, here on the bottom side, Henna's taking a lot of damage, has to flash to get out of the way, dodges the zap for now. But Hanwga Esports putting on so much pressure bottom side. All right, this is starting off pretty fiery, but we still haven't had a first blood yet.
It's looking a lot better for Hanwga. However, FreditBRION, they're still holding on. Yes, summoners are forced, but it's not the end of the world. And one thing that is key to remember is that Hoya is still going to be able to have a really big impact in this game. Because we already talked a little bit about how the set does well in terms of laning phase. That can often get early or mitigated pretty quickly once the Ornn picks up some defensive items. Especially because you're Ornn. You can just buy your defensive items while you're in lane, which feels great.
Yep.
However, as you get later into the game, the value of the showstopper is going to become, I think, increasingly problematic for FreditBRION, or for Hanwga rather, where Morgan needs to make sure that he positions in a way that Hoya can't slam him into his backline, because that's a surefire way to lose a fight. So,
yep, keep your Bellows Breath available.
Yeah,
is basically the answer to that one. As of course, Ornn does have some options into the set, but like you say, it feels like set does have the initiative as far as those abilities are concerned.
I mean, if Morgan plays it very, very safe, then he should be fine, but we do often see, even in scenarios where like, should that be able to happen? You know, someone is like, oh, I can get greedy for this kill, we can pick someone up, I want to get the knock up, I want to get the brittle proc, and then they get slammed into the backline and there's a face breaker.
Yeah.
And the game is over. So I need to be respectful of that as Chovy picks up a very nice Braum ultimate. It works very well when you actually have reliable ways to get onto opponents.
Precisely.
Which Braum does not, which makes him balanced, because otherwise that character would be a nightmare.
Well, Chovy is going to make that a little bit different. Also, the Glacial Fissure has a pretty ludicrous AP ratio.
Oh yeah.
That good old Braum never actually indulges in, for obvious reasons. To some, certain hipsters might say that, you know, you haven't lived until you've tried AP Braum.
Scoff.
Exactly.
Atlas, you've never played AP Braum.
I know, I'm such an idiot. What is wrong? It just one-shot people with Winter's Bite. Absolutely beautiful.
Sounds hilarious. Full rotation coming through here, and everyone's down to fight.
I think we want a Herald. That's what I'm thinking. As, all right, FreditBRION will be able to clear out this control ward. Meanwhile, Morgan's just following Hoya down, but the rest of Hanwga Esports need to get here. Chovy still has that Glacial Fissure. Bowling balls falling on through. As all right, we need to get that Unbreakable out of Delight, otherwise Morgan's going to have a rough time, as he is going to pull around from the other side as Delight puts up the door and he's going to be taken down. Jinx gets excited, it's going to be Viego stealing away the Rift Herald. Umpty runs into the enemy team, gets a massive sleep, and is going to be able to buy some space for the rest of FreditBRION to get out of there, but it's still a big win for Hanwga Esports.
Because that kill goes to one person you don't want it to go to. It's Deft, who's able to pick up a really nice snipe there with his ultimate. Great use from Morgan, as you pointed out, to go for the different direction. Don't get greedy for the double proc, just get the knockup. As they do, pick up the Herald as well. Will be picked up by Chovy of all people, who now gets an empowered back. It's probably going to pick up some plates for himself.
Yep. Only going to help his gold at 15 stats compared to his opponent. I like that one a lot.
Oh yeah, and I think from FreditBRION, I understand this. That you want to try and go for this play. However, I think that you're already bunched into this choke point, which against the composition of Hanwga is just really, really dangerous. If you pull out the Herald and you get yourself in the top side of the river, You can zone away the Ornn, especially with Hoya available there. But more importantly, you don't get absolutely demolished by all the AoE damage that comes in there.
Yeah. It was really well played by Hanwga though, and they actually waited, you know. It was a coordinated assault around that Rift Herald, which is a huge change in comparison to what they looked like versus KT. So good signs here for Hanwga, but obviously not the end of the world for FreditBRION, who are just behind about 1,500 at this stage. Should extend, as Chovy does, like you say, have the Rift Herald in his hand. See where he's actually going to put it. Might actually delve towards the bottom side and try and share that money with Deft. I like that. Put the money on both of the carries. There's Deft now. Put the chompers down.
That's a fun interaction.
Yeah, it is. Fun for FreditBRION, not so fun for Hanwga, as Deft now just going to drink some potions, eat some cookies. Should be alright.
Chovy also went for the Arm Guard first, which is something that ever since the nerfs we haven't really seen as much. Of course, makes sense into the Renekton. Not as high value as it would have been with an AD jungler, but it's one of the reasons why we see so many of these AP junglers with AD solo lanes, because it makes it really hard to itemize appropriately. This Drake should not be a surprise to anyone. Maybe a cheeky steal, but should probably just go straight up to FreditBRION, although I do see the pings go down.
Yeah.
It's a little bit late to contest this.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to contest. They do have FreditBRION in the area where they could potentially start a fight, but they decide not to. Just going to be that Ocean Drake going over to FreditBRION. Mountain will be the next one, and then we have either an Infernal or a Cloud, so obviously a Cloud Drake to be coming in as the Soul. I'm a big fan of. Get all of those ults as many times as possible, as Chovy puts down the Rift Herald now. We'll be able to get him a whole bunch of plates. Very nice.
Look at the gold. Going into the pockets of Hanwga, now a 2k gold lead, and that's getting toward very comfortable stage. However, it's still not to the point where you can take team fights nitty-gritty. You need to set them up well, and you need to make sure that the cohesiveness that we saw in that initial fight are maintained. Because my main criticism of Hanwga Live, and I think something that a lot of people have been very vocal about, is not necessarily individual performances, how they stack up afterwards, and how they set up plays and move around the map. Often, it feels very disjointed, and if they maintain order, they maintain front to back, they should be fine. But we saw last game that can be difficult at times, Atlas. Gen G wasn't able to, and then they got Aatroxed.
They did. They got Aatroxed a lot. It was a very strange game, in my personal opinion, but it was fun. Let's see whether Hanwga Esports can have a better time, though. Similar, though. I'm glad that you sort of bring that up, because similar ideas for both of these comps. FreditBRION with a lot of flanking power, things like that, and if Set gets the right angle, he looks really, really good while doing it, whereas the setup, if it's there for Hanwga, the front to back should be pretty comfy.
Another key difference is that the Hanwga Live comp actually has elements that are very good for picking off individual targets or skirmishing. Viego and Chovy, with the Conqueror and the amount of sustain that they have in their kit, can actually fight so well if you withstand the initial burst of, say, a Set or the damage that's going to come through from the Renekton. Yep, that's just getting really fed. From a Brio
is already online, and it is wow, Hannah. It's almost in Super Mega Death Rocket territory.
Yeah. I think that was used fairly recently as well, which makes sense with how much pressure they've been getting on this lane. And Umti, thus far, has been unable to really get anything done. And it's the perma use of Prio combined with Reeler always hanging around that mid lane, you know? And he's securing vision in the river on the bot side to make sure that Deft and...
Oh, that sidestep. Absolutely beautiful.
Umti's there. A little bit, but you're fresh, so who cares?
Also, Deft is completely out of mana.
Are you seeing this? Are you seeing what Vista is building? Oh, is he gonna go the carrier way?
We shall see.
Ooh.
I like the Swifties. I like the Swifties a lot. See what he turns those pants into. That's all right. Umpty. The bowling ball to check. Love it a lot. Chovy's got Dominus. Chain Lash not going to hit. Yeah, Willow looking for his way in.
That. Especially with Morgan missing.
Yeah. And Morgan's just been completely unfettered this game. Just having a great time. up there towards the top side. As Chovy finds some chains, and Kingslayer makes these trades look bad for the Sylas until it looks great.
Oh, he knows.
Value. But Morgan's still looking for it. And they should be able to pull this Brambleback back. It is going to reset. So Hanwga Life should be able to take it. Willa just continuing to push on forward. And they know that there is no vision. So that is just going to be a successful steal. Level 9 hit a little bit earlier here for Willa. In comparison to Umpty, like it a lot. And Hanwga continuing just to play this game out exactly the way they want to. Shirley could be gathered if they would like. And they could also equalize the Drakes if they so desire, because they do have a fair bit of control, although most of it is focused top lane.
It's interesting because I actually feel like that top lane control is being spread around the rest of the map, because even if you don't actually do anything, just the knowledge that Umpty is there, Lava's pushed underneath his turret, mean that Devs and Vista can actually execute upon the lane that they're winning really hard, right? Like now it's 2 items for Deft, which means as long as you know what Umpty is and you keep in mind any teleport flanks, which they do because there's 2 teleports available for Hanwga, you can just keep shoving. And normally that could get punished, but if you keep everyone on the back foot, if you keep constant knowledge of where Umpty is, Hanwga Life is basically enabling their bot lane by playing this aggressive in a way that shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, and
very
also
nicely.
they have an on. This comp is going to be absolutely revolting the longer this game goes. Remember, Deft is going to have that Megalodon Slayer, as we like to call it. When all of these ornaments do start to come in, the Forever Frost will come through as well. You'll have the, what's the Syzygy? Is that the Divine Sundera?
No clue. Is it?
No, it's the Deicide.
Deicide,
that's the one.
Isn't it?
It's actually a very cool name. I'm not going to make up a weird one for that.
No, that one is amazing.
As okay, we got a teleport coming on forward. On to nothing, in fact, as that was pretty adorable. As okay, here's the fight. Only 3 members of FreditBRION in position, as Shirley is also going to play interference. That tower going to be taken down. She might even get another one here. As all right, the ram comes down. Double knockup is good, but there's the Moonlight Vigil from Henna. Cloud Soul, like we were talking about, as Deft is going to get his face broken. Flashes to get out of the way of the Q, and now Deft is in a great spot. The 5-man knockup from Morgan. God, I love it when he plays tanks. As now Delight puts up the door, but he's going to be holding that indefinitely as Deft is excited, and I do not blame him. Hanwga Life looking for the aces. Chovy looking to dive towards Lava, and Umpty is running the opposite direction, but he's going to be successful doing it, and Lava is going to successfully make his way out. And in the meantime, Morgan gets down to business and takes out the inner turret in the mid lane. Deft does the same bottom lane.
Everything going right for Hanwga Life there. They pick up the turrets, and while that is happening, they're winning the team fight. And I thought that was still salvageable for FreditBRION, surprisingly enough, because when I saw them funnel in here and Hoya not able to actually get into the backline thanks to a really nice flash from Deft, they didn't think it was going to go great. You only hit Lava and Umpty. And I think when that sleep comes through, it seems manageable. This knockup though.
Oh, it was a 4-man, I take it all back. It wasn't that great. Delight didn't get hit by it.
No, don't you dare take that back, because that's the knockup that wins the fight, right?
No, I know. I was just being a little facetious.
I know, Atlas. I like to poke some fun at you. Let me, as they chase down Lava, or rather attempt to, don't find him. Umpty also gets away. But them getting away with their life doesn't really change the fact that it is more kills getting picked up by a Deft that was already monstrously fed. And the issue that you have with FreditBRION comp when you're playing from the back foot is you are very short-ranged, and if you don't find a flank, you have no engage. I guess you can bowling your way to engage.
Nice hook, but they're not going to go too far as Delight was threatening.
God, Deft.
That is just filthy. Leads absolutely everywhere. And Hanwga, they heard that their stats weren't so good in round 2, so now they're doing their very best to make sure they make up for it with a composition that also peaks generally a little bit later than this. But I am not going to, I'm not going to say anything, because of course, if they're going to play like this, I'm okay with them doing it from any time. Because we know that these players, if you look at what it says on the tin, it should be doing a lot more than what it has done so far this season. So Hanwga Life, it's good to see them actually play to their potential.
They did it the whole spring. We know they can. It's more of a question of to what extent they actually are able to. Of course, Willa being new here, I think a nice game on the Viego. He was where he needed to be, you know, sacrificing a little bit of farm, but you will fall behind against a power farm like Lilia.
Vista going to land a hook and then get flashed on by Lava. I have a feeling he's just dead, and that feeling is going to pay off. Decides not to break his stopwatch, because he didn't have flash, and so just a little bit of an overstep there.
That happens, it's not the end of the world, but just make sure it doesn't happen again. Because giving up one turret is fine, giving up multiple, not quite the way to go. I don't know if you want to actually go for this, Deft.
Yeah, he's going to cleanse, but he doesn't have flash available. There's the knockup. Dominus will finish him off. Actually, no, it's Umpty that does so. Now Lava's in trouble, but FreditBRION playing this one beautifully. Chovy, pretty high health though, and Morgan also coming in as that massive tank. Henna trying to go close range, but Morgan is going to say no to him. The Silas will fall, but this Ornn is a beast. Even upgrades his mythic in the middle of the fight, as Umpty's going to throw bowling balls around, and they're not going to be able to complete their battle, but Morgan saves it in the end.
Hanwga Live's hand really forced that Atlas. I don't think you want to go for that 4v5, even with Morgan coming in from the flank.
No, absolutely not.
But you're forced into it, because this pick on Vista, not the end of the world. Yes, it's unfortunate that you force out the flash from Lava. There's no objective besides the mid lane turret, which is then somewhat defended by Deft. However, you have no vision. Deft should be hugging his bot side here, and this is the reason why Morgan feels forced to come in from the back. And you're lucky that you are as fed as you are in this situation. Great stop with Chovy to dodge the sleep as well. And this is just as Ornn, you're like, oh yeah, I can bellow breath multiple people. I love it. I can hit my knockups. It's amazing. And yeah, obviously you're not getting chased down Lilia. She is way too fast, especially with that phase rush available. And Morgul is getting onto Umpty. The problem is, that is the only good thing that is happening for FreditBRION, and just the fact Lilia is not going to be enough. The first ornaments are starting to come through. Morgan as you pointed out, as he hit 13 in that fight. And it's going to be an important Drake. Actually, not even a contest coming through for FreditBRION. I'm not feeling like they are in a position to do so. And it's really big, right? It's very small, uneventful. Nobody actually moves down for it, but that was, I think, one of the real avenues that FreditBRION still had to keep themselves in this game.
Yeah, certainly was a possible out for them. Try and grab that Cloud Soul, and then get lots of sleeps, lots of Dominuses.
Little dippy. Just a little dipper.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's not the end of the world by any means. 5,000 gold lead at 23 minutes with a comp like this, you're sitting pretty.
You could honestly, especially in the LCK, make the argument that you could be down this far and it would still be okay.
Yeah.
Swap the gold totals. Wouldn't love it, but it would be possible. We've seen worse.
Yep. And so that just only accentuates how comfortable Hanwga Life Esports are. However, they certainly do have the ability to throw from here, as Chovy, lying in wait in this brush, have control vision all the way around this Baron, and they have a Jinx, remember? She does Baron extraordinarily quickly. And so FreditBRION intelligently playing around the area, as well as going to put up some mist and potentially get bowling balled, but no, it's going to be alright. That's going to be the smite, and Umpty may have just collected the Viego, but thankfully there's a lantern there, so he will make it out. Deft moves up towards the top side, but he isn't going to be able to really move forward. 4 members following. That's okay. Hoya gets himself the Haymaker shield. Willa over to the side to try and stop the wraparound and keep the Jinx safe. A little bit nervous for a second there, but the rest of Hanwga Life Esports, the cavalry, are able to come through. And now that top lane out of turret falls.
Teleport also available. And I still think, as FreditBRION, you're looking for chaos. You're looking for picking off one person. And that's why they're grouping up and looking around, right? You saw earlier, Vista just got blown up. Oh my god, he went for Batman's? I thought he was going to go for Force of Nature. That was Carrier. What Carrier went,
yeah,
right?
Carrier did it. That was item number 2 after he was like 7-0 or something like that, though. A bit of a luxury Force of Nature. I like the Deadmans, those swifty Deadmans.
Yeah.
You just go real fast. I'm into it.
He's playing into the only source of AP on the enemy is a Lilia, which I don't think is really going to be looking at Vista at all. Rest is all AD damage. Sure, I like it. Yeah. I'm a fan. The real problem for FreditBRION is that Deft has an Infinity Edge. If I would draw your attention. Okay, now it's looking a little bit less dire because Hannah had nothing before. He just had a last whisper. He just finished his Lord Dominic, so it doesn't look as bad.
He's only an entire Infinity Edge behind.
Yeah,
wow.
It's just Infinity.
Let's call it over. I think FreditBRION must win this game.
There's a lot of years, okay?
That is true. That is true. But what he lacks in items, he makes up for in years.
Aphelios, old and wise as he is, shouldn't really matter though. And that's the unfortunate situation for FreditBRION, is that if Hanwga Live get a 5v5 and don't allow Hoya to get into the mid backline, or Lava for that matter, they should be fine. Alternatively, if FreditBRION can kite back very, very aggressively with Henna, once he's reached the third arm, I do actually think he does need that Infinity Edge, then they might be fine. And I'm loving force the hand and then turn.
Yep, well, Def, he now has his upgrade. This is 3 items and a half.
Well, just
FreditBRION, yeah, okay. They're now going to start this one off. The hook is going to go wide as now Chovy has found Lava. My god, that Kingslayer did about 1 trillion damage. As Lava's going to back away, FreditBRION do stop the Baron. And Hanwga Life Esports will back away as well. Where Blast cones his way out. So, a bit of a stalemate there. Not exactly pulling the trigger on Hanwga's side.
I think it's fine. They were looking for the turnaround. You can go for the hook with Vista. And in a normal game, where you're not playing into Brom, you just press your on button and then you go. Unfortunately, in this scenario, obviously not a possibility. You need to find an angle.
A ramp. And they get a flash out of Henna. Sometimes that's just what happens. It's Chovy. Yeah, Lava's not going to be having the greatest time here. He pops the Dominus. And he's going to flash, but Chovy's just going to grab that solo kill so comfortably. This Silas, we were wondering whether he was online. Well, the answer is yes. Okay, he's going to get in melee range with Delight. Umpty's going to move in as Chovy goes into his Zhonya's. In the meantime, Willa was just hitting the turret, and he's going to continue to do so. Morgan teleports in. Might actually have a snooze, but no, he's just going to Searing charge his way out. Umpty's still prancing after him, though, as he gets the double sleep. Billow's Breath is going to absorb a fair bit of it, but look at the AoE damage. It's pretty big, but the Moonlight Vigil is going to miss, and now Deft is free-hitting over the wall. Locks up one of them. The rest of FreditBRION not going to be able to do anything in answer. As that is 2 dead. Oh dear. Now Willa is going to be there. There is the ulti from Hoya. And now Willa's going to suffer most likely the same fate. Nope. Okay, Hoya's just going to back away, not trusting that the rest of the team weren't close by.
Gets taken out. I wonder whether Morgan could have... It's like one of those just barely situations.
Yeah, I think I would have held it if I was him, because he's dead anyway, right?
Exactly. Yeah, just like, just go for it, I guess. Yeah, he's a level up, and he's quite fed with Global Gold, so...
what? Lava was like looking somewhere else?
I assume so. Really nice predictor from Chovy on the change for the slice and dice. And also is able to do this because the rest of his team is coming up to help.
In the meantime, Chovy's now fighting 2 people up here towards the top side and winning. As the bowling ball is going to pass by. Lands onto Chovy though, so that's going to get that slow Super Mega Death Rocket. Sails by gracefully. As there's the chains. They're going to land onto Hoya. He gets the face breaker though onto Willa, who heartbreakers his way out. Doesn't have flash available, and now Vista's going to pick him up with the lantern. Great get out of jail free card there from the support from Hanwga Life, as now Deft gets in there and clears out this ward.
Starting to feel like spring Hanwga Life. Chovy setting up plays around the map. The rest of his team there to help, there to execute, there to keep them safe. And great performance from Morgan thus far. Now level 14 has given out his first upgrade, unsurprisingly, to Deft. I think that is the one that makes the most sense if you have a Jinx this fed.
The Whimstake something, I think what it's actually called. But I like to call it Megalodon Slayer.
No, I like that.
As I believe Wolf helped me with that one, so shout outs to Wolf there. As we were having a fair bit of fun during Casper Cup this year. As Lava's going to get hooked. Hanwga Life look to try and lock down the Croc. As Chovy, he's got the ulti from Delight in his hands. There's the Ornhorn though, and that's going to divide FreditBRION, and now, oh no, bit of Delight's own medicine there as Chovy chains his way back in. He's going to comfortably pick up the Braum. And now Deft, he's at full health, just free hitting, but so is Henna off towards the side. Zap doesn't land onto Umpty, who's prancing his way around. FreditBRION, they don't actually lose anyone other than the Braum, but now things might have changed. Vista looking for depth. There's the showstopper onto the Jinx, who eventually flashes out, and Chovy is going to Kingslay the set. Super Mega Death Rocket! No.
No.
Close.
I wouldn't even killed Lava.
Close, but a bit of a grave.
Think he would have lived. Yeah, I was wondering. Oh yeah, no, it's no biggie. I'm just going in 1v2.
Yeah, and he did it on purpose. That's the coolest part.
Yeah, I know. that's the part I'm highlighting, Atlas, as yeah, just really nicely done here. And this almost backfires. And this is, I think, the key difference, is that this time the entirety of Hanwga Life is already on their way to help with this. Still think that you shouldn't do this, by the way. Like, you get away with it, but as Hanwga Life, not the play you're really looking for, in my opinion. Nice hook from Vista, capitalized on the vision support, great knocker from Morgan as well. And then I was wondering what made them stop that. It's just the Graviton.
Yeah, it's the Graviton Moonlight Vigil, which was actually pretty sick.
It was really good. If there was damage, which there was not. So I actually would have preferred if you held that for a little, because now don't actually get anything out of that. Def not quite able to chase there. Nice vision denial from Hoya and Lava to prevent anything from happening there. And then here, I think Hoya is like, someone's going to die, might as well try and get the kill.
And he almost did, he got the flash out of Jinx, that's huge.
Yeah, if there's no flash, he probably haymakers are down. Nice attempt to just fully CC lock that, but I also like the safety flash, because giving over that shutdown on Deft, I think is real bad news to Hoya. And still seeing signs of life from FreditBRION. There's definitely not out of this quite yet. Hanwga Life still needs to respect, but Chovy and Deft as fat as they are, here it goes again!
Yep, Chovy's just going to burst down Lava. Oh, okay. Looking to try and get out of there. Blast Cone, but that is just going to be a trade, and Delight is well and truly dead. With him dead, they now don't have a door to put in the way of the Ornn, and so they're not going to be able to defend any sort of Baron attempt, and this is going to be Hanwga Life Esports really breaking open this game. It was already close to an 8,000 gold lead, but it's going to be way above 10 after they're done here, as FreditBRION might be able to get a consolation Cloud Drake, maybe, but probably not.
I don't think they will allow it. I don't think it's happening, Atlas. And what we're seeing here from FreditBRION is, I think, them not being...
Oh, no. This is just Lava saying, I'm having one of those days, you know? It's just not very fun. He's getting chovied real hard.
It's been a while since people have been getting chovied, though.
Yeah, true.
It's been a long time.
Dove did not receive any chovying.
No, Dove was the one actually
doing the doving.
It should, and this is working, and you can get away with this because you're so far ahead. But you're still going in so deep with no vision. This one, though.
Yeah, that was, Lava was dead as soon as he turned the corner. And, that is going to be Cloud Soul Point. The Quadra Clouds. My goodness, the ultimates. They're going to be flying out left, right, and center.
Chovy has a death cap. Oh, no. Oh, Atlas.
Yeah.
And the real issue is, like, we talk about Chovy a lot because at this point, you know, it's kind of a running gag. But also, Deft is monstrously fat. Willa can win teamfights single-handedly.
And Deft has gone zero defensive anything build as well. He's like, Vista, you can save me, right? I'm just going to build all of the damages I can possibly build. Thanks very much.
As much as I can, please.
Yeah.
Just walk up to Boris, say, give me damage. I was like,
yes.
Like, what? Yes, damage, please.
I want the kill people items, please, Boris. Boris obliges. As Deft will be able to take down this inhibitor. The mid one's already gone, as now the zap comes in. Deft tagged by the Lilia, so he doesn't want to have a snooze right now, although he does have the cleanse available. His flash now just off cooldown as well. And Hanwga Life with now 2 inhibitors in their back pocket. Should be able to go for a reset whenever they would like to. Deft is going to take the lantern out in order to get that one done.
Yeah, playing this FreditBRION comp from a deficit is not fun.
Yeah. Oh no, the Forever Frost is done for Chovy as well.
Don't we just call it permafrost?
I think it's called the Winter's Embrace or Winter's something.
No, but you want to go with Forever Frost over permafrost?
Yeah, I don't want to get confused with Sejuani abilities.
Yeah, okay. I can see that.
I need it to be something silly, because then I know that Riot hasn't named an ability that. And that means that you're definitely not allowed to call it Glacial anything.
I was about to say, because there is Glacial Fissure, Glacial Tomb, there's Frozen, there's so many.
Glacial Augment. Yep, there's a whole bunch of glacial stuff. To do things glacially is something that you know, we have definitely got on lockdown
in League.
Yes. As Deft, just the one up here, getting the damage down. Hasn't quite completed his next item, which is likely going to be that Phantom Dancer. Puts down some chompers. He is by himself, remember, but he's got a Lantern in his back pocket. Vista staying in a pretty good position to make sure that Deft is never under any threat. Willa splitting in the mid lane. And Morgan standing vigil in front of his Jinx. All right, that's a face breaker onto Chovy. Although you may not have noticed.
There's
Chovy's health
also
bar didn't really change.
2 waves of supers pushing in. That's going to become a big issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it already is, but it's going to become worse.
And what does FreditBRION do? I just don't know whether there's any good options right now. This siege is just, it's too comfy.
Yep.
12,000 gold. The lead.
Yep.
Antenna trying to trade back. All right, here it is.
Let's
the
go.
Big flank. Let's see whether Deft is going to be able to stay alive, as we have the right weapons on Henna. As Hoya dives on in, picks up Deft on his way past. There's the cleanse eventually. He's already flashed, but now the positioning's good. Moves on out of the way. Lava actually gets zapped on his way in as the Super Mega Death Rocket comes down. They do take down the Ornn. Now Chovy is in amongst 5 people, but he is able to flash his way out. Now the health bars are extraordinarily low, and Deft should be able to get excited enough to take everyone down, but no, can't walk past the tower just yet. And FreditBRION should be able to make it to their fountains to get those health bars back. A better team fight for FreditBRION than I was expecting personally. They now look to get back and potentially siege. They don't have their Ornn, but he has teleport available. Okay.
Exceptionally done. Really nicely done by FreditBRION. They're just so far behind that it doesn't matter at all. Because of the game state is even a little bit better. Hoya with the beautiful ultimate out of the Lantern, you know, just making sure, no, you're not going anywhere. But Deft uses his flash as the cleanse available. Doesn't have to do anything. I think he sold his boots and then went for, because we're seeing a bunch of, okay, so he's going for Storm Razor. He wasn't sure. He's pranking us a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing.
But this is the only way that you ever win this game as FreditBRION, so I'm happy that they go for this call. However, even with this, Deft's flash, as well as the cleanse, means that he's just able to never be touched. Yes, Morgan gets taken down because 5 people are hammering away at him. Chovy gets taken low. It doesn't really matter because, as we pointed out earlier, yeah, the Silas is fat. That's all fine and dandy, but there is an instantly fat Jinx.
Also instantly a team fight-ish. Okay, no. This looks like we're setting up inside a Baron pit, you know, with all the wards here dictating the line. Are we playing tennis? What's happening? Very strange. Ornn going to set up part of it as Hoya takes a lot of damage. Decides to go in amongst the entirety of the team as Deft is going to take him down. That's a kill going over to Vista as this game is over, ladies and gentlemen. Hanwga Esports make a little bit of a whoopsie, and Hanwga Esports use their wallets to smack him down.
Don't think it would have mattered, Atlas. If I'm being completely honest, feel like this one was a little bit over.
The ship was definitely on its way out of the harbor.
It was not in a good shape. I think we can safely say, as I think FreditBRION played as well as you can reasonably expect later in the game, but the early game showing some of the weaknesses that we saw in the beginning of the split, and Hanwga Live, for the first time, it feels like forever.